So this video is going to talk about formal and informal, as well as subject pronouns in French. So formal and informal kind of goes hand in hand with our subject pronouns. So our subject pronouns are this in French. Okay, je, tu, il, elle, on, nous, vous, il, and elle plural. Now the way that they break down is like this. Je is for I, tu is for you. And we'll come back to that in a minute. Il is for he, elle is for she, on is for us or we. Nous, also for we. Vous is you, but it is a couple different forms of you, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Il is plural masculine, elle is plural feminine. Now, first let's talk about the formal and informal. So you got tu and vous that I said they both mean you. Now, tu is you in a singular form. Okay, so it could be singular or and it is informal. Now, some of you who only speak English, formal and informal for you guys, it's a little bit harder to define because you haven't used it as much. You know, formal and informal. Formal, yeah, we're wearing tuxes. Informal, you're wearing shorts. Well, formal and informal in French is very important. Okay, using this form of tu that's informal, you only use that with people that you know really, really well. People that are your own age, people that you're friends with, and then you would use it for relatives. Okay, they could be older than you, but you'd use it for relatives to show that you're close to them. Vous is you in plural form. All right, so as they would say, where I'm from or down south in the east part of the United States, y'all is what this could equate to with the plural. It also is the formal form of you that you would use if it's singular. Now, formal and informal. Me being your teacher, you would not use tu with me, okay, because you need to show respect. It's somebody that you show respect to, you use vous. So if you're talking to the President of the United States, you're going to use vous. If you are talking to your grandma, you're going to use tu. Okay, so that's kind of the things that you need to take away from the formal and informal. Tu, you're using with people your same age, or maybe people that are younger than you would use with tu. You would also use it with people that you're very familiar with, people you see all the time, your friends, family, etc. Vous you would use with the President of the United States. Even no matter whether you agree with his policies or not, you have to respect the office, and you would use vous. You'd also use it with your principal. You'd use it with your teacher. You'd use it with people who are older than you that you do not know. Okay? Now, back to the il, elle, and on. Okay? Now, everything in French is either masculine or feminine. That's just the way it is. Okay? We have our political correctness here in the United States where things can be just things and they're not necessarily masculine or feminine. Well, in French, it doesn't work that way. It's either masculine or feminine, period. A word is either masculine or feminine, okay? A car is feminine. A bike, if you're going to use a certain word for a bike, it is masculine. Okay, use the word vélo for a bike, it is masculine. So you always have to use the il and l. So the il and l plural. This one's a tricky one, and some people are going to disagree with the way it is, but guess what? It's French. That's just the way it is. Okay, you can't tell French how they're going to run their language. They have an organization called the Académie Française that regulates the French language. Okay, they're going to run French how they run it, and that's just how it is. So, to decide whether you're going to use il or l, you need to use this rule. Il, or let's go with l first. L has to be a group of people that is 100% feminine. They are all women. They have to be 100% women in order to use L. If you're going to use il plural, there can be 999,999 women and one man, and you use il plural as your subject. Okay? Again, I'm not trying to spread any political views or anything. That's just the way it is in French. If you got a problem, take it up with the Académie Française, because they're the ones who are in charge of it. So then we come to on. On here can be used in place of new. It's often used in place of new because the conjugation is easier for verbs. Now we're not talking about verb conjugation in this one today, but just know for future reference, okay, the verb conjugation is easier with on, so a lot of people use on instead of new. They're kind of interchangeable in that way. You can also use on for a hypothetical situation, like one would be better off if they did their homework, or one would get a better grade if they studied for the test, something like that. All right, so that's our plurals and formal. Okay, so with our subject pronouns in French, every sentence must have a subject pronoun in it. Okay, every one. Now, I know this isn't the case with Spanish, but in French, you have to. You have to have a subject pronoun in the sentence. Always. You can't just say are going, or like in Spanish, where they often, you don't need a subject pronoun in a sentence. People just know what you're talking about already. Well, you can't do that in French. You always have to start with the subject. Okay, that's how sentences are made. That's how grammar works in French. All right, so those are our subject pronouns, as well as formal and informal. Okay, formal and informal. If you'll remember on our greetings, I talked to you about comment allez-vous being the formal instead of comment vas-tu, things of that nature. Okay, this is what our formal and informal goes with. If you have any questions, you're welcome to ask me in class. You could comment below. You are also welcome to watch this video as many times as you'd like so that you can understand what you're doing. You can ask, and feel free to ask me before class, after class, during class. If there's time, there's nobody's doing assessments, and I will see you in class.